right, everyone. I am so excited to introduce today's guest. This is someone who truly embodies what it means to turn passion into purpose and help others transform their lives. And his name is Rajan, but everyone calls him Coach Raj. And Coach Raj has been a trainer for over 8 years, starting with high-level athletes, including Team Canada athletes Jamal and Ayla Mayali. When COVID hit, he took a leap of faith and started his own business, Level Up Performance, training people out of his garage before expanding online. But here's what makes Coach Raj so special and why I'm so excited to tap in with him. It's because his journey hasn't always been easy. Growing up, he was a top-ranked baseball player in Ontario, chasing his dream of going pro. And when that didn't work, he faced some tough times, both mentally and physically, and had to rebuild himself from the ground up. And that experience fueled his passion for fitness, health, and helping others feel their best. Now he's on a mission to make health and nutrition second nature for everyone that he works with and to leave a positive mark on this world. So whether you're here for fitness tips, mindset hacks, or just a dose of inspiration, you're in for an incredible conversation. And please help me welcome Coach Raj to the show. And we're so glad that you're here. Coach Raj, what you got to say? Say what's up to the people. How you doing?
Oh, that's a very nice intro, man. I feel pretty hyped right now, dude. That's nice. Yeah. I already knew what you were gonna say. I read it before, but this is pretty nice. It's cool to hear from you, dude. Thank you. But yeah, what's going on, guys?
Sometimes all you need is somebody giving you your flowers. But go ahead.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to be here and just kind of, just help people get better, healthier, and feel better in themselves, man. That's all I'm trying to do here.
Nice. So, yeah, where are you located? What time is it over there? What you got going on today?
Yeah, dude, it's 2:44 p.m. EST. So I'm in Toronto, on the other side of Canada from where you are. Nothing crazy, bro. It's like minus. Actually, what is it today? It's nice today. It's like minus 20 today. So not too cold. I know
it's
not
nice today, minus 20.
Dude, it's been like we've had pretty bad snowstorms the last few days, so it's been pretty nice. Yesterday's
Right.
not bad, nothing crazy. spending hours shoveling the snow, dude. I mean, I had a picture on my story yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm not tall. I'm like 5'8", but I'm pretty sure the snowbank was like 6 foot, like 10 or 7 feet. It was huge how much snow we had to put up there. So yeah, man, getting 2 workouts a day because of that, and then working out myself, right? So pretty nice, not bad.
Hey, man, can't relate. Vancouver, we blessed.
Yeah, you
Can't
guys.
relate.
I know. I had a client.
But
She's like, "Oh, I don't know if I can walk." I was like, "Why? What's the weather?" She's like, -1. I was like, "Get your ass out there, man! Come on, what are you talking?"
oh, that's me for real, though. That's me for real. Like, once I see the minus on that weather app, I'm like, maybe I should just chill. Like, today looks like an apartment gym type day.
That's jokes.
But yeah, we're glad you're here. We're glad you're bundled up, feeling warm. Yeah, I'll dive right into it because I know you're big. You had breakfast yet?
Yeah, well, I've had
It's
2 meals.
lunch, brunch.
It's like it's 2:47. I usually have 3-4 meals a day, so I've done 2 now. So yeah,
Oh, that's what's up.
yeah, man.
We're going to start there. I think nutrition plays a huge role in fitness and, mindfulness as well.
Yeah,
I think they go hand in hand. We have things like binge eating that people do. And I'm curious from like a coach's perspective, like, nutrition can be such a huge part of fitness, but it can also be a source of stress in so many different ways.
Yeah.
How do you approach mindful eating, and what tips do you have for people who want to kind of build a healthy relationship with food?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, I mean, I definitely went through my spurts of, bad parts of a relationship with food. I used to use it when I was stressed. I used it, for school, for example, right? Exam season, things like that. After I stopped playing baseball, I used it as well as just kind of like a dopamine effect, right? Kind of, hey, I'm going to have some ice cream today. It's something to look forward to, after a long day. You think you deserve it, so you put it down in your mouth and you're like, oh my God, this feels so good, right? But then what happens the next day? You feel like crap, you don't wake up so great, you kind of feel bloated, you feel lethargic and things like that. But then it causes a cycle, right? And I believe, to the point of what you said, which, food is mindfulness. Like I always tell my clients, how you feel is how you fuel, right? So if you fuel yourself with garbage, you fuel yourself with high sugar foods all the time. And there's nothing, listen, I love, cookies. I like ice cream. I like these things, but I don't eat it a
Mm-hmm.
lot anymore, and I don't need it, like, it's not that I don't eat it at all. Once a week maybe I'll have something like a little treat if I really want it, but your cravings can be
Right.
managed when you actually manage the type of food you're putting into your body, right? So usually
Mm-hmm.
the thing I start with mindfulness of eating is actually a food journal. So something a little bit different, I think, than a lot of people have is
Mm.
when you are going throughout your day, right when you're your hungriest, right when you are stressed and what you go for when you eat. And at the end of the week, you can look at it. You can look at it and be like, oh, okay, well, I know on Friday, like I had a big project or deadline due at work, and I was scrambling. I almost finished. I finished it towards the end of the day, and I was stressed. I don't know if I did well. I just had to hand it in. Blah 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 blah. So then that's when I
Right.
was going for the ice cream, the tub of ice cream. Because let's be real, nobody's having like one scoop of ice cream. Like we're gonna have like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not
You
gonna have one
you
scoop.
going
I'm gonna
all
have.
in.
I still won't do that. There's no way,
You
right?
going all in.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's one of those things too, where it's like, let's write down when you are eating the foods that make you feel like crap. And then from there, we can work
Right.
through the emotions of it. Because I think that a lot of food is connected to emotion, especially for me. I work
Mm-hmm.
with a lot of women specifically, right? Guys are emotional
Mm-hmm.
too, but and I used to cope with it as an emotional eater as well. But I find with women, they're a little bit more in tune with their emotions. So it's easier to
Mm-hmm.
pinpoint, hey, when is this happening? When are you eating like this? So that kind of a food
Right.
journal would be my first step into mindful eating.
That's a very good outlook. I've never thought of a food journal before.
Eh,
This is the first time I've heard somebody talk about a food journal, and I think that's a key step because the first step to anything is awareness. So if you have a log of entries on how and when you're triggered to eat certain foods because of certain events,
Yeah.
over time, if you have the data, you can kind of analyze and see, okay, I typically tend to do this. You can pinpoint the behavior, like you can
Mhm.
connect the two to your emotions. I'm curious, when you kind of stumbled upon this idea of food journal, how did you get into that, and how did you switch from being somebody who emotionally uses food as a coping mechanism to just being mindful with your eating habits?
Yeah, so I actually didn't do this tactic when I was going through my issues. This
Mm.
is something I learned when I was going through gut issues. And then I started understanding, oh wow, like a lot of my clients could actually benefit from this because they're always they were never aware of when they were doing it. So it was just understanding, hey, when I had my gut issues, I was writing down exactly what I was eating, what was in my freaking plan, this and that, and I can pinpoint things. So that's why I did it for that. And then, oh, sorry, what was your question?
If you don't mind me asking, gut issues, what kind of gut, like what happened? What happened over
Yeah,
there?
it was weird, man. After I think it was like 3 years ago, I started to notice that eating certain foods, I would get like, TMI, but like constipation or like it'd be hard, like
Yeah.
my stomach would be hard to the touch. Like it kind of got inflamed. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like this is not normal for me. Like I don't have food allergies. So then, I went to the doctor and I got very fortunate. I have a very good doctor. Like he doesn't tell you to just go do, take this medication, take that medication, do this, that. He's always like, hey, like let's like do the FODMAP diet. So FODMAP diet, when I was going through this, was just like, let's cut out certain foods and see if you start feeling better. And then we can pinpoint exactly what it is, right? So then I just decided, okay, I'll do a food journal.
Mm.
And then it was dairy. So there's a few things. It was dairy, apple, banana, and oats. Those things mess me up. I can't have those anymore.
Damn, that's
Dude,
definitely my oatmeal right there, bro. Like,
it
that's
sucks.
crazy.
I used to make these banana oatmeal chocolate chip cookies. So it was just a smashed up banana. I put oats in it. I'd bake it for a
Mm-hmm.
couple, maybe like 20 minutes, and it came out just two ingredient, natural, all natural stuff, and it was delicious. Can't have that anymore. So, you maneuver, you figure it out. But I will say this, like figuring out the gut health issues made fitness so much easier. Like it made me, I wasn't like my mind was working better. I wasn't as moody. I wasn't as kind of like, what's the word? Like, if I'm going out, I wasn't as nervous anymore to be like, oh my God, is this food gonna like, hurt me today? Like, am I gonna like, am I if out with friends? Is this gonna
Right.
I have to go to the washroom? Oh, it definitely helped in that sense.
Yeah, and just to segue into gut health, I think I read somewhere about how gut health is it's so like crucial in terms of your mood, overall wellness, in terms of your brain's health. What's the connection if you have some knowledge on that?
I don't know like the full connection, in all honesty. Like I don't know the answer to how it is connected. I mean, everything in your body is connected, but I do know,
Mm.
and from experience myself, now there's a lot of studies out there. So
Mm-hmm.
if you want to read the studies, like there's tons. But I do know, like, yeah,
Yeah.
in my opinion, your gut is your second brain, right? And I know this, especially speaking to clients. It's just
Mm.
I find that you're going to act based on how, one, mentally tough you are and mentally stable you are, but as well as you're going to act based on how your stomach is feeling. Because when your stomach's off, man, like you just don't feel good. Like you feel bloated,
Nah.
you got to go to the
Yeah.
washroom a lot, or maybe you don't go enough, or maybe, it's kind of impacting your day-to-day routine, right? And when that happens,
Mm-hmm.
if you're stressed about if your gut or what you're eating and things like that, it takes up space from creative thinking, from positive thinking, from less stressful thinking, right? And that's from my experience and a lot of my clients' experience. When we figured out what it is, what
Right.
the issues are, they just found that their day-to-day routine was better. They had more time in their life. They were able to enjoy things a lot better too. So that's kind of the connection I have. But the scientific reason why, I can't tell you that one. I'm not gonna lie. So
Like, I actually like that you have a personal connection to it rather than, we deal so much with like science, data, the proven realities when the data is always in your body. Like whatever it is that you're going through is very unique and specific to you. That's why we have DNA. Like the DNA is a specific regimen that only shows who you are as a person, as you. There's no one else who has the same DNA as you. I don't even think twins have it. I don't know.
no,
But
theirs is different as well. Some aspects are different.
yeah, some aspects is different. Yeah. But in terms of like you saying your clients get to feel better and, when you're in that routine, I'm curious because I feel like mindfulness also encompasses like, rest and like we live in a society where, we glorify hustle culture. Like, how I'm curious how you teach your clients and yourself to a certain extent to kind of balance pushing their limits
Yeah.
with being mindful
Yeah.
of their need for like rest and recovery as well.
Yeah, so that's a good question. I mean, just to segue though, like I am huge in science and data. So like don't get me wrong on that. Like I love it. I definitely will make sure that I use that for the basis of my program. But that individual aspect is the part where we go person to person. How does it feel? How does it make you feel this and that and the other? But when it comes to even the part you asked here, which is like how do you balance the hustle, the work, and the fitness and things like that?
Yeah.
Now, I've been running my own business for 4 years. I'm still new to the game, right? Always learning, always like trying to adapt and things like that. So, balancing hustle is a little hard sometimes, right? Even for me, like especially because if I'm not working, if I'm not doing something, business doesn't evolve, right? I fall behind. So there's it's been a little bit tough of a battle, and I've been very fortunate enough to have the right people around me too, especially my fiance, right? I think having people that support you is very important because they can also let you know, hey, you know what? You just need a breather for a second, right? Because it's hard to do everything by yourself. So I think if you want balance, you need to have the right people around you. It's not just you. It's not just all on you. You have to be able to speak to people. You have to be able to kind of like even have people monitor you. Be like, hey, dude, like you're changing a little bit. Like, you're not as in tune in our conversations. I'm not seeing you as much. And that's like, there's certain seasons of life where you have to put in a little bit more work than other times, right? It's just natural. But what I've learned from, I'm young, but what I've learned over doing this for just the few years that I've been doing it is that I think everybody has a different bandwidth. And I think balance comes from understanding what you can handle and how far can you go to your limits, right? So, I've had mentors, I've had people that say sleep is for the weak, and they say, don't do that, or you've got to let go of people, like even if it's your family and friends. You know what? By all means, if that's what you have to do and that's what helps you propel forward, then do it. Like if that helps you,
then do it.
And you can do it, go do it. But I come from a culture where family is everything, and I will quit business and go work a regular job if I have to, if it means that I can never see my family again. I will never do that. That's unacceptable to me, right? But it took me like 2 years to really like come to terms with that and be like, you know what, like you have to know what you like. You have to know what you're okay with, and you have to know your limits, right? So it comes down to what can you handle, how much can you handle it, and when do you need your breathers, right? So for me, like typically in the year now, like last year I took a lot of vacations because I was ready. I hustled for even years before that, right? Like serving, being in school, like starting my business, like, 3 things at once. It was like 18 hours. It's just long days, right? So last year was the first time I kind of took like real vacation periods, Spain, Germany, New York, Vancouver. Like it was great. I was loving it. And now this year, again, like now I'm gonna get a house with my fiance. We're gonna have a wedding. Like, now it's all right. Buckle up a little bit and let's kind of get.
Hey, congrats, man. That's huge.
Yeah,
That's a
yeah. Okay.
milestone. That's a life milestone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like just the aspect of traveling and leaving the routine of a day to day.
Mhm.
I think that's a blessing. That's a
Yeah,
blessing.
no, I appreciate
And
that. It takes a little while to get.
yeah,
Takes a little while to understand, though. Yeah.
I think you mentioned something about bandwidth. I don't want to let you off the hook just yet because I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
you kind of segued into like business and how in certain seasons of your life you have to kind of put in more, which ties into the question that I asked you about like hustle and
yeah.
rest. So
Mhm.
you mentioned how you started training people in your garage during COVID and grew from there. And I'm just curious in terms of like balancing and the bandwidth that you had back then. How did that evolve as you've progressed with your business over time?
Mm.
Because I'm assuming at the time you had to put in more time, and it was also COVID, which was a different timeline. And what kind of prompted you to actually even start there? Because you had to start small and then take actionable steps to build momentum. How did that journey go?
Yeah. So again, it's the people around me who are also pushing me to do some
Mm,
of this stuff. And,
mm,
I'm a big believer in, again, before I talk about everything else, I'm just a big believer in like your circle, like really fucking matters, man. Like I know everybody says it, but I mean,
right.
I'm living it. Like without these friends, without these family members, without my fiance, like I would not, you and me wouldn't be talking right now. Like I wouldn't even have an Instagram page right now. Like in all honesty, like there's no way.
That's
So
crazy.
in terms of how it started, my own business, like again, so to segue into how that happened, I was, training people from even high school. Like I was like, a lot of people used to just ask
Hmm.
me for training tips and things like that. I just, to work out with them, help them, blah, blah, blah. And then one of my friends started his own business and he was training athletes. And I was like, yeah, I'm down. Like I love it, right? Because I went to school for athletes. And then my whole thing was I want to be around athletes again, right? Because I was like, all right, well, let's just see how long I can be in this space. So I worked with him. We did, it was fun. It was great. And then, again, it was a little bit slow, right? So I was still working at like the restaurant. I was working at Moxie's. I don't know if I think you guys have that out there in Vancouver as well.
Yeah, we got it.
So I was
Yeah.
working there, and I was in school, and I was helping, and I was working with him, and he was great too. He's also a very good person to have in my life. Like he taught me a lot of things as well. But it just wasn't growing
Mm,
at the pace that like I wanted it to grow to me to get out of serving. I just didn't want to like serve as much anymore. Everybody has different goals and different passions, so if you follow it, you've got to really stick to it, right? So then my
absolutely.
friend is the name Level Up Performance, and the reason I sparked my own business was because my friend was talking to me. He's like, "Hey, you should start your own business. They call it Level Up Performance, and there's two P's in up. My last name is Uppal, Uppal, and that's what he did. He's like, hey, you should do
Mm.
up with two P's, call it Level Up Performance. It's good. I was like, you know what? I'm down. What's the worst that happens? It's COVID, man. Like, nothing can really go bad here.
Yeah,
Works are
yeah,
done.
there's not a lot going on right now.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
let me try it. So then I went into the garage. My parents were pretty cool with it. They're like, yeah, whatever. Just be careful. It's COVID. Like, just be careful who's watching this and that. Right. So I was like, I started training
Hmm.
people in the garage because I knew people needed to work out, right? People needed that mental breather, needed that mental capacity to kind of take care of themselves. And I loved working
Right.
out. So that's what I started in my garage. And then one day COVID was kind of withering away, right? Again, I was also tapped for hours at the same time because I mean, in person you can only train so many people, right? And
Right.
there's a bandwidth as well there, and there's also a cap of how much money you can make unless you charge more too, right? But like I'm not the type of guy to be charging somebody like $500 an hour. That's crazy, right? So like for a training,
Right.
that's a little
Right.
bit much.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm gonna have to pause you right there because I feel like if you offer value for $500,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
charge $500.
That's fair. That's fair.
I think it also boils down to just understanding your worth, not being treacherous or anything. But I think if you have the $500 valuation, you charge 500. But I digress though.
No, no, that's a very good point. It's a confidence factor as well as an understanding of what you're capable of, right? And knowing your worth too, right? And I love it. So at that point though, definitely wasn't worth $500 now. I didn't know then what I
Right.
know now, right? But again, like it's like
Right.
what are you so what can I do in terms of how do I make more money? How do I help more people? How do I get more involved in creating a bigger clientele? And my dad said at one time, hey, you should try online, like see how that goes. Like maybe make an app or something like that. And I was like, okay, like maybe we'll see. I don't really know. And then when COVID was kind of withering away, people were driving pretty far to see me, like an hour away, 45 minutes away, because nothing was open, right? And people just wanted to work out, and they loved the training that I was doing with them. And then COVID's done. People are kind of going back to work regularly, so they don't have much time to commute like that, but just for a training session, right? So I was like, they were asking me for online training. And I was like, how the hell do I charge enough for that? Like, I have no idea, right? Like, just online programs. So I hired a business coach who specializes in helping online fitness coaches create good programs, and a mentor. So, I was in my room and I was like, okay, either I pay this guy to help me or I just have to stop because I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I don't really want to figure this out by myself. So he's the one that taught me how to do everything online. And yeah, ever since that point, which was like 4 years ago, that's kind of how I went online. And that's how I started growing my business and growing my social media and just kind of getting more of that word out there to help others.
Damn, that's crazy because that's a big transition from, seeing people in person and transitioning to like the online space. I'm curious, like, were you always somebody who was good with like online presence, or you had to grow into that? And did you find it challenging at the beginning to kind of put yourself out there? Because I know a lot of people struggle with that in just the level of like confidence in putting yourself in front of a camera, not let alone online. Just this mental psyche that you kind of require to put yourself in front of a camera. It not a lot of people got that. So I'm just curious to know, did you ever have challenges, or how did you go about that?
Yeah. First of all, you ask very good questions. Very good questions. These are awesome. So it's a good conversation. But
Appreciate you.
yeah,
Appreciate you, bro.
But yeah, in terms of that, like, I was never a big social media person. So like getting into online, I knew I had to do it, right? And it's not that like I was worried about what people were gonna say, but I didn't have Instagram or anything, any form of social media till I was in grade 12, like 18 years old. Like, I just didn't need it. I just didn't want it. I didn't care for it. I was so focused on sports and trying to do that I could care less about the girls and like the social media aspect. Like, I didn't care about it at that point, right? So when I did this, when was this? 4 years ago, 4.5, let's say 4.5, 5 years ago, when I was really getting more onto social media, I didn't ever think about, oh, what are gonna people say, or what are people gonna say? And honestly, I just don't care what people say. I think I never did about that. Like, I'm always focused on my passion, and if my passion makes people talk shit about me, that's fine. Like, I don't care, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. If that's how
they don't pay the bills, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
they don't pay the bills.
They're
at the end of the day, it's always gonna be chatter. And it's funny because, like, I don't mean to cut you short, but it's funny because, like, I listened somewhere when this guy was saying, like, when people are not talking about you, it's because you're just doing the bare minimum. And the bare minimum is being at the same level as everybody else. So there's nothing to talk about if you ain't got motion, if you're not doing anything. Exactly. So you have to strive to get to a point where people are talking about you, whether positive or negative, because at least it means that you're putting yourself in positions to be able to be talked about. So you're taking risks, and risk can either go up or go down. And when people talk about risk, it's like they only talk about risk mitigation, but a lot of people don't understand, like, there's risk rewards too. Like, you can get rewarded from taking a risk, and a lot of people don't see from that perspective. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's important that you mentioned that.
I don't ever take like a risk without calculating it. So that's another part of me that helps me be like very calm about, like, and very confident about taking leaps of faith or risk and things like that. Because, like, sometimes you're left. I mean, you always have a decision to make, right? And a risk is the same thing. Either you do it and it works, and you do it and it doesn't work. But like, what's the worst outcome that happens from these risks? Maybe you have to restart. Maybe you have to go back to do a regular job. Maybe you have to do something else. But like, if you're so scared about it, like, calculate the risk. Understand what is the reward. Understand what you're missing out on, right? Like, everybody looks at what the worst possible outcome is, and nobody looks at what is the best thing that could happen from this.
Best possible. Would you say you're more of a risk manager or a risk taker?
Risk manager, I would say.
Risk manager?
Yeah. I know that's kind of weird because, like, I have a business. I'm just
I was about to say, yeah.
I've spent $50,000 on mentors. So, like, it's over like the span of like 2.5 years, right? So I think people are kind of like, whoa, like, dude, like, you're definitely a risk taker. I'm like, I see, like, you know what it is? I think I also have such confidence in myself that I don't look at these things as risks, right? Like, I don't look at them like, nah. Granted, obviously they are. And when you look at the definition of it, it is a risk, right? But I think once you've proven to yourself over and over again that you are capable and you've achieved the things that you've said you will, even if things go backwards, even if things kind of unrolled or not going the way that you want it to, you've already proven that you've done it once. Like, why the fuck can't you do it again? Like, you can, right? So it's just that undeniable faith in yourself, right? I'm sure you've heard Michael B. Jordan say that at one point. He's like, you have to be a little crazy to think that it's all going to work out.
Yeah, delusional at one point.
Yeah, yeah,
And
you have to be, dude. Like, you have to be. Even like this year, like this is actually probably one of the slower starts to my year ever. But like, there's two things you could do, right? Either you panic, you stress, you worry, and you're like, oh my God, this is not for me anymore, right? Or you just look at what's different here. What's different from last year? Okay, well, it's a little bit, things are a little bit pricier this year. People are a little bit more looking at their wallets this year. Maybe it's the content. Maybe it's I'm not speaking to the right people. Maybe it's the way that my content's coming across, right? These so many little factors. All you got to do is play around with it, and then you figure out the steps that are actually going to work, right? So instead of worrying, instead of thinking that everything you're doing is a risk, just look at it as, well, if it's not working, then clearly something I'm doing is not working. So I just got to figure
you
out
got to
how to
change.
work, right?
You got to change.
Like,
Right.
it's what business is, right? It's running your own thing is that you have to pivot and you have to learn as well.
Persist, pivot, and adapt. It's your choice all the time, every time. And
Exactly.
I like that you've touched on like how you've been consistent with your business regimen and your relationships, and also just the small actionable steps that you've been taking over time to build your presence and adapting and pivoting when need be. And I just want to talk about a little bit about consistency over perfection, because I know that comes in handy when it's like we are dealing with clients and just fitness and regimen in general. And a lot of people get stuck trying to find the perfect workout plan or the perfect diet. Or how do you kind of like help your clients focus on consistency rather than perfection? You know, especially when life gets busy. So like at the time when they were switching from COVID to like going back to the office and now they can't commute, how do you get them to focus on being consistent rather than being perfect?
Yeah, that's a good question. So that is basically the first thing I tell people on like my consultation calls is if you're looking for perfection or a quick fix, get off the call right now. Like, I'm not going to help you, right? So that's I usually preface it as that because I don't want people that are just going to complain and things like that. And, oh, Raj, like I'm busy this week, so I have to stop. Like, no, you don't have to stop. You have to focus what you can control, right? So when I talk about consistency with my clients, so a lot of my clients are busy moms. They have kids and they work, like, 90% of them, right? And then the other ones are also busy, like young women that are pursuing their career and trying to get to that next level. So they themselves have other things that they're busy with, right? So for example, if we talk about consistency or if we talk about perfection, okay, if I give you 4 workouts a week and this week you have a new deadline, the boss gave you something else to do and your kids have hockey practice this week and the playoffs are coming. So you're focused on the kids. A lot of people will just neglect everything. They're like, you know what? I have 4 workouts. They're like an hour each. I can't do that. Like, there's no way I'm going to fit that into this week. Like, I don't even want to try. And then they quit. That's when you quit. When things get very busy, you quit in a fitness journey, right? Because you're just like, it'll never happen for me. So what I tell my clients is, you need to come to me, tell me what your week looks like. And then all I'll do is 1, make your workout shorter, more intense. And then 2, we just focus on all the other aspects we can focus on. So instead of doing 4 workouts that are 45 minutes, we'll do 3 workouts that are 30 minutes. We'll do HIIT if we have to this week. It's okay. We'll do nice little intense bursts of strength. That's no problem. That way you get it done in 30 minutes, 25 minutes. That cuts literally like 2 hours or 2.5 hours of your workouts out the way. How do you feel about that? I feel pretty good about that, actually. I'm happy that I don't have to be doing 1 hour every day. Okay, great. And then when you're at your kids' practice, just walk and watch the practice instead of sitting on the bench and sitting on the seats. Go walk, right? You don't have to plan another time in the day. Just go do that. And then food. Well, if you're going to be busy, just meal prep. Don't worry about getting the meal done every single day. Get some of the protein in, pack it with some veggies, take it with you. Consistency is more about managing time and expectations than it is about just actions. It's a pre-planning.
Right.
So if I can help you pre-plan before this gets hard, then you're good. Your consistency is off the chain. We don't have to worry about doing everything like you did last week. This season of life this week is a little bit busy. We'll just dial some things back and we'll make it work within the schedule. That's how I kind of go through their consistency.
Oh, bro, such a gem. Such a gem. Consistency is more about pre-planning than actually show. Like, half the battle, as they say, is showing up. But for you to show up, you kind of have to have time to show up.
Yeah,
like,
true. Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
yeah.
kind of it's kind of like a reverse thing because like if I don't have the time to show up, then guess what? I'm not gonna show up. Like,
Exactly, exactly.
which is so crazy because like as you said, like I'm gonna get my diet in check. What is meal prep? That's like
Yeah,
pre showing up before you actually eat. It's not like you eat. It's the food that you eat. You're gonna eat it anyways.
yeah,
But if you meal prep it and show up before, then you're eating better food, better calories, clean. You're not buying impromptu meals during your lunch break, which
yeah,
kind of throws you off,
yeah.
curveballs and stuff like that. So
Right.
I like that. That was such a gem. I appreciate you for sharing that, bro. Like that was crazy.
And then after that week, you get through that week, it's like that thing that I just spoke about, right? You've proven to yourself that you can do it. So now when it happens again, you're just know, oh, this is exactly what I can do, and I'll just do it again. It's no problems. And that way, you're being consistent and you're getting to your goal. Because, 20-minute workout is better than 0 minutes. I tell them all that. I tell them
Yeah.
all the time. I'm like, dude, 20-minute is better than zero. And then that way it just propels you. Then the next time this happens, you're at a better energy. You feel better. You're less stressed. You have a plan. And now you're not worried anymore. You're not like, I'm never going to get in shape. It'll happen now.
All
You
right.
just have to go through that one little period with the right support, then you're good to go.
Confidence comes from preparation too.
Yeah, yeah,
Or to
100%.
Kobe, confidence comes from preparation. So the more you accomplish these things consistently, as you said, the more you kind of have the belief in your head that I can do it again, I can do it again, and it just builds from there.
Exactly.
And I wanna like go to a different topic because I love sometimes we're talking about the good things, the glamorous, the beautiful
Yeah.
things that happen to our life. But I think life is worth living due to like what adversity brings to the table. The best moments not necessarily the best teachers or the best lessons I personally have learned have come from adversity. Moments when I was down, like I was down and out, because now you have to dig deep into the tank and really get in touch with who you are as a person. In this society, we don't have enough time to do that. And just reading from your journey, you've had your own ups and downs from, playing high level baseball to rebuilding yourself. I think you said you had an injury or something along those lines.
So I won't get too much into detail, not because of emotion, just because of more like just bad faith stuff. But like it was a school, right? So when I was here in Toronto, there was a school out west in Vancouver on the side that, I reached out to them, I knew people on the team and they are like, yep, like, I think this is a good fit. Like, come on over, right? Like we should like come on the team, right? And, there was like certain money involved in this and that in order to like, play there, this and this. And it was great. Not like I get paid, but like, almost like scholarship kind of thing, right? So, oh, yeah, this to this, and then you just have to pay for this. I'm like, oh, well, sounds good. And then, okay, cool. So I switched schools, went there, was all good. And then basically was like lied to about all the fees and like all the money. And I was like, whoa, like this sucks.
Damn.
So then basically because of that, I was kind of stuck too, because they didn't tell me until after you could like drop out and not have penalties on your courses, right? And I was like, okay, well, this kind of sucks. Like, I don't want to be having penalties and like paying more now and like this and that, right? My parents are helping me with school, so I'm not going to ask them to like, dish out more. That's crazy, right? So I was like, this is like ridiculous. So basically, I kind of went into a pretty, this now I can talk about this openly, but now basically it was like, I was kind of went into a dark place because I was like, oh, damn, like I really thought I was going to be able to go like somewhere with this, and even if it wasn't pro, like maybe somewhere far with this, like I go overseas, I don't know, right? Something where I can play this for
right.
And I was like, whether that was going to work or not, it was just kind of like a dream and a passion that I followed. And then because it didn't work out in the way that I thought it was, I think I was 19. I was either 19 or 20. I was turning 20 or 21, and I was like, damn, like, okay, well, now what do I do with my life? Because I had nothing else. Like, I didn't want to do anything else. I was in school for business. Like, I wasn't like, I was going to get a degree anyways, but like, that was never like something I cared to do, right? I was like, whatever, I'll just do it because it's helping.
Yeah, it's just part of like the checklist of life.
Yeah, I'm Indian, right? So it's not like you can't go to school. You got to go to school, or else you're fucked.
Hey,
so,
listen,
African, right? So you get it, So it's like, you get it, you know what I mean? It is what it is, right? So I was like, okay, well,
it is what it is.
What am I gonna do now? Like, I don't know. Like, I basically kind of I was questioning at one point, like, what's like the point of me being here? Not like in that depth. Like, I wasn't planning on like doing anything crazy.
Hey,
but,
no, yeah.
no,
hey, man, that's a sensitive topic, but I hear you.
But I mean, I don't want to like I don't want to neglect other people's state of where they were at. But, you know, there were
Right.
points of like, what am I doing? Like, going, what the hell am I going to do with the rest of my life? Like, I don't know. Like, this sound like,
Hmm.
I'm like, kind of like, I feel lost, right? Felt lost. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. I kind of felt like I let myself down, I let my family down, I let my friends down. I was like, oh, I'm going to bring everybody with me. This is going to be amazing. It's going to be a sick journey. Take my boys to my games, girls, like this and that, my family, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, you're like thinking like, this is going to be a fun life, right? And then when that happened, I'm
Right.
like, oh, fuck. Now I can't do any of this. Like, I think I'm done. Like, I'm toast. So through that dark state, I stopped training for a little bit. I was eating like garbage. This is what that dopamine effect was for me, was food, right? I was lucky I didn't dip into anything else, right? I didn't dip into, you know, alcoholism. I did drugs or anything like that. I never like
Yeah.
was gonna do that. I've seen it do things to my family that I would never let myself get through. So I was like, I'm not gonna do that. But you know, I started gaining weight.
Good for you.
That I started like looking in the mirror. I'm like, who the hell am I? Like, you get to a point where you look at yourself like, this is unacceptable, right?
Hmm.
Like I said, like I had very good friends, very good family. Like, I had people I could just like that would talk to me, right, and just be like, "Hey, dude, like," and again, like a lot of your boys are just gonna be real with you, right? Like at a certain point, hearing your friend just like nagging on life and like talking like, "Oh, there's nothing, it's never gonna work. What am I doing?" You know, at a certain point, they can only be so understanding. And I remember one of my boys was like, "Either you make light of this or you die in the dark, bro. What do you want? Like, you know, like what do you want?" And I was like, "I guess I kind of need to make light." So
Man, let me pause you for a real sec. And this is kind of like I take that from friendships and like personal relationships, whether intimate or professional as well. Sometimes you just need to hear the real.
yeah, you do.
Like there's no need to sugarcoat it. There's no need to like, yeah, no, you're doing the best that you can. Nah, bro. You're not. Like and it's those people that I feel like the more I've grown older, the more I've started to appreciate them a little bit more.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
it's like you just want to hear the real. Like, bro, yeah, you're doing content, but your shit is not hitting, bro.
yeah.
Like, gotta switch it up. Gotta
Yeah,
switch it up.
yeah,
I would rather you tell me that than gas me up to some mediocre level that doesn't allow me to grow. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying?
yeah,
So, and also, as you said, when you constantly nag other people, bro, you're bringing their energy down. Like you walk into a room and you just feel the energy go low, and it's like, damn, why y'all not hype no more?
yeah, yeah.
What's going on?
It's
You
true.
know? So I'm glad that your boy put you onto that and you kind of like started questioning yourself. And I'm just curious how you started rebuilding. Like, was this the moment when you started using fitness as your, like, was this the moment where fitness became like a mental health thing for you?
Yeah,
Because you said it helped you through a tough mental space. So I'm just curious, like, was this the moment where it started to improve your mental health? And, how can you advise someone who's struggling to just kind of get started? Because that's kind of like starting in a
yeah.
sense.
No, that's. I mean, I was always into fitness my whole life, like because I played sports, and you know, it was like
Yeah.
high school.
Yeah.
Like I'd be training like 4 or 6 hours a day because of like what I was doing, right? Track and then baseball and taekwondo, like all these things I would do, right? And then you know, and you focus on other things, and I was like even putting more effort into like you know baseball. So fitness has always been there. I realized when I was going through that point when I stopped, and again, I didn't stop for long. For me, I only stopped for like a month. But even through that point of like depression and feeling really down and things like that, I was, you know, after the month, I was still going to the gym, but like I was still like I still wasn't myself. Like I was not feeling good. I still was like always questioning myself
Mhm.
every day. I was still doing this, but it just helped me build a routine. And I think at any point when you're going through like a dark stage, you still need a routine. You still need something to kind of build off of because
Mhm.
it might not be the craziest thing, but at least it gives you some kind of purpose to get up, some purpose to get out of your bed, some purpose to kind of move in the right direction, even if it's not coming from the right
Mhm.
place. It will eventually get
Mhm.
there at some point. So if you
Mhm.
are going through like you know like something where like I went through or something harder or whatever it is, you always have options. You have, but the only time you can pick the best option is when you realize that how you're feeling and how you're thinking is not serving you anymore. That just everybody it takes a little different. It takes a little longer for some people, right? And you know, I've had clients
Mhm.
go through some hard times and things like that, and I always tell them, I'm like, well, either you let this thing eat at you and you continue to get worse, or you can attempt to try to get better. Just attempt it. Just try it. Right? Maybe it's not a workout today. Maybe it's just going for a walk for 10 minutes. Just slowly
Right.
build a kind of routine, like that consistency over perfection, right? It's like just
Mhm.
slowly start to build something that will help you feel better because movement is medicine, man. Like it will help you, right? Like I think I would have been in a darker place if I didn't have movement, if I didn't go try to strength train or lift heavier weight or have a goal in mind. Because what going to the gym does, or what kind of any kind of workout does, you set goals. You have these new standards, right? Like, for example, when you're in the gym, I seen you in the gym on your story, like you're pretty jacked. So like, you know how it is, right? It's like, like
Thanks, bro.
let me progressive overload. Like I want to bench 315 or something, right? Some people want that goal, right?
Right.
Well, at least it's
Right.
giving you something to work towards. That's what health does. That's what working out does. So if you are so down in the dumps right now, or you just feel sad and you feel depressed, give your mind something to work towards. And whether that's something you think is beneficial or not, just make it some kind of movement. It will always help you, man. It'll mentally clear your mind, even if it's for an hour or two a day. And if the rest of the 22 hours you're stressing, at least those 2 hours you've now
Those 2 hours counted.
yeah, you've proven to yourself, oh, I can let things go. I can let go of what's been happening. And once you do that again, it's everything is a process. So everything I've even described, like I think you see a pattern in everything that I'm speaking of, right? It's step by step. It's proving to yourself that you can do it, and it's recognizing the pattern, right? If you can recognize how this actually benefits you, you're gonna do great in whatever aspect you're trying to work towards.
Yeah, bro. I love that. Movement is medicine, and you have to have the systems in place to be able to allow the steps that you're taking to be fruitful. You have to have the systems in play so that when you it's kind of like just plug and play. I think of it like if you can do that at the gym, then essentially what it does is, as you said, slowly it'll start transmuting into other areas of your life. And it's like once you see the goal setting in real time from a physical perspective, then goal setting from an emotional standpoint, I think it's a little bit different.
Yeah, it is.
But I think overall goal setting as a concept can start in that trivial manner. So
Yeah, why not?
I think that's a dope way. I really like that. I really like that. Dropping gems, my boy. And now I'm gonna I want to talk a little bit about, like, you've spoken a lot about community and how the people around you are very impactful in your life. You've built a strong community around Level Up performance. And my question is just, why do you think community is so important in fitness? And then how can people create and find their own support system?
Yeah, I think community is important in fitness because one, it's accountability, through anything. It's just accountability. It's somebody there pushing you, so, whether it's your friend, a trainer, or like a group of like a Facebook group or something like that. People pushing and people striving towards something beneficial, right? Something that's actually going to help them in their life. So a fitness community is very important because it puts everybody in the same perspective. We're trying to get better, right? And that's what fitness is all about. It's literally just trying to get better, right? Or else, because you can't lift the same weight every day and then see progress. You have to do progressive overload. You have to lift heavier. You have to get your form better, right? There's some form of betterment that comes from fitness, and having a community that understands that and to be around that will just help you in other areas of your life too. A fitness community, man, will help you in so many other areas in your life: business, career, family, all these things, in my opinion, right? So
networking in a sense.
Yeah, networking in a sense. And another one, it just helps some people feel more confident in going to the gym too, right? Whatever kind of gym you go to, right? So some people like Iron Fitness Gym, some people like Good Life Gym, some people like the Pilates gyms, right? So find the community that suits you and helps you feel like movement is fun. That will help a lot. Find the right. Now, listen, I think everybody should be strength training. At the end of the day, like, everybody needs to lift weight. It's
Man, let me tell you, you read my mind, because I was gonna ask you, like, since you're so big on that, what makes you be? Because I'm assuming you're predominantly a strength training coach. Why would someone do that over the group fitness classes?
Yeah. So that's a great question, because a lot of my clients ask me this too. So I focus on people's fat loss goals, right? I help them lose fat, lose weight, but through that, the primary focus is building your strength, right? So if you want to lose weight, you want to lose fat, you have to get stronger, right? Because the science of this is you only have two types of tissue in your body. You have muscle tissue or you have fat tissue, right? So if you want to lose fat, you have to start building the muscle, right? But in terms of the difference of like, hey, like, I lift your classes, nothing wrong with classes in the beginning, right? Anybody can see some kind of progress if you're just going to go to these boot camps or spin or Pilates yoga classes or whatever, right? But the problem is, like, it sounds so mean, but it is what it is. I'm a pretty straightforward guy. There's a difference between even the types of coaches in those classes. Okay, the ones that are actually in good shape, have been maintaining their body and helping you do Pilates, helping you do the yoga, helping you do spin, whatever. They're on the side lifting some weights. Like, they're not just...
They have a level of strength training in there. I hear you. I
There's
hear
a
you.
level of strength training in there. Like, don't get me wrong, So like, and the ones that are out of shape, why would you take their class? No offense, guys. Okay, no offense, but like, I am a big
Nah. I gotta get you back here and have one of them other ones in the same room so that they can speak up for their team. They can speak up for their team.
everybody has a right to talk what they want under this comment section or whoever
Free
listens.
speech. Free
But
speech.
I mean, again, you need to, if you want to get to a place where you're physically looking the way you want, you have to learn it from somebody who's achieved it or achieving it, right? Like somebody who's never been in that place that you want to get to can't help you get there. They don't have the tools to get there, right? So, but to go digress, like the point of the classes, I think it's okay to use if you want to do that once a week. If you are a beginner, yeah, go ahead, do it just to get a feeling for the gym, just to go to the gym, get in there, get into the environment, feel it out. If that's what you got to do for a couple of months, happy that you're doing it. But then after a couple of months, your body's going to get used to those classes. You need to give your central nervous system stimulus. That is the only way you continue to see progress. So lifting the same weights or doing the same exercise, or like not exercise, but doing the same weights, doing the same classes like every single, 3 days a week, every single week for like 16 weeks. After 16 weeks, it's going to be tapped out. Like you're not going to get anywhere else after that. It's going to be very hard for you to see progress, right? So if you want to actually continue to get progress, you want to continue to challenge your body, build the muscle, get the definition, lose the love handles or whatever it is that you're dealing with, you got to go lift weight. You have to lift stronger because at a certain point, the custom programming is what's going to help you get there, right? And it sounds like be crazy. You just got to lift the weight and lift do the programming. It's going to help you get to where you want to get to. So the only thing that I would say that's, just to sum it up, is classes won't help you get that progressive overload, that next level of fitness that you need, whereas strength training will always do that. And if you want to do the classes, do it once a week for the rest of your life. But everything else has to be strength training or some kind of physical thing that challenges your central nervous system in a way that every week you are getting stronger.
Right. The stimulus package. I like that. And incorporating both kind of like a hybrid training regimen is pretty much the best way to go about it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, and you touched on like on the coaches on the other team. Yeah, that makes me ask you, like, as a coach, it's you're just not giving instructions, and you also have to listen, and you also have to understand your clients. In terms of communication, how do you approach communication with your clients to make sure they feel heard and supported? Because creating a safe space goes a long way. That's essentially what therapy is. So to a certain level, you're kind of like a fitness therapist. So how do you create that safe space? How do you create that safe space?
So I have a lot of like touch points with my clients. So every Monday and Friday, I just do like a quick voice note or message, right? Just a quick one. Just say because it goes a long way to help them know that I'm here to help them. So all I say is, hey, like, I'll give a little bit of motivation touch point on Monday. Just, hey, how you're doing? How's your weekend? Let's get after it this week. This is the goals I have for you specifically. Go after them, right? Then they'll respond. They'll ask me some questions if they need to, or they're just hyped and they'll go kill it. Fridays, I have another checkpoint. So it's usually my check-in. So Thursday afternoon, I send a check-in form, just 5 minutes. Hey, how's your week, your stress level, your sleep, your water intake? Did you follow the meal plan, follow the nutrition, XYZ? What do you need help with? And then I'll do a Loom video. I'll do it on my laptop, just a Loom of me recording their check-in form in their profile. Hey, this is going well. This can be better. I love that you're doing this. Let's do this as we go forward. And I do that on Friday. And I do them on Fridays because I want to be the voice of reason before we get into the weekend, right? Because the weekend is when people fall off, right? So a lot of people will do it on the Sunday, or they'll do it on the Monday, right? They'll do the check-ins. A lot of coaches do check-ins on Sunday or Monday. I don't care for, again, those clients are also seeing great results in the other programs if they do that, right? But the reason I like to do it on Friday and not at the end of the weekend is because I want to help you figure out the weekend before the weekend comes, right? Pre-planning, like that's what it is. You have to pre-plan before this happens.
Pre-planning, yeah.
It's basically those 2 to 3 checkpoints a week, and then whenever they want to message me or ask me questions, I'm all for it. Just shoot me a message. Like, it doesn't stress me out. It doesn't like make me go crazy because I have the answers to everything they need an answer to, right? I've been doing this for 8 years.
Right.
It's very relative and it's very simple things. I don't make things complicated. I make things very easy for them to comprehend. And because I know where they're at in their life and what's going on, I can answer them and give them the very specific things that they need to do for themselves. So basically, it's like those 2 to 3 touch points a week help a lot with these clients.
Damn, that's good. I've never looked at it pre-planning and doing it on Friday, actually, I see the benefit of that because from a human psychology standpoint, if I'm gonna go in the weekend thinking about my fitness goals, I have it's a probability, there's a higher probability that I'm not gonna do dumb shit on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, yeah.
There's a high chance that maybe I'm gonna do that yoga class that I've been putting away for so long
Yeah.
because maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, I didn't really have a good workout. So
Yeah.
let me re-up on the weekend, and then when Monday comes, I'm still on the go.
Yeah.
It was a long weekend this past weekend, so man, yeah, today I got some catching up to do.
Hey,
So
you need to check in,
uh,
buddy, or what? I got you. Don't worry.
hey
Don't.
man, yeah, I'm a lock in. I'm a lock in with you for real. And yeah, I think as we kind of come to a close, you said you want to leave a positive mark on the world. You know, that's good of you because you're giving to people in the best way that, you know, the Almighty has granted you the ability to. How do you define success both for yourself and for the people you coach?
Another good question, man. Holy crap. Okay, so
Hey man, tell them to pull up on the pod. We gonna make sure we ask them the right questions, man.
it's good. So I'll define success for clients. That's pretty easy in terms of what they want, right? They get on this call with me, they get on the consultation. The first very call is like go over their goals, right? So part of the success is reaching their goals, right? But prior to that, success is changing their mindset around fitness because, you know, most people just think it's all or nothing thing. So my goal as a coach is to help you really understand that your mindset is what's going to help you be consistent or it's going to make you quit. So if I can get you in like 8 weeks to, now my programs are longer, like they're 6 months, right? But if at a certain time period, 8 weeks, 12 weeks, whatever it is, right before this actual thing ends, my goal is to help you understand that you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. If I can help you understand that and get that level of success or get that mindset into yourself, and I can help you never quit on your health and your fitness again, that is what success looks like for the client. That's for them. And then for myself, like as well as that good relationship with food. So like all of that encompasses together. For myself, are you asking like in terms of like the business part, life, like what kind of success are you asking me?
No, success as a generic term of overall impact on your life. So if you encompass your life in general, how would you define success?
Damn, I've never been asked like that. That's a good question. I mean, if I had to encompass it all, so let's say, like, I mean, now you can let me know if I'm answering this question right. But I would say part of it and the biggest factor is having the right people around you. If I have the right people around me, I've succeeded in life in every aspect, right? It's already helped me with my business. It's already helped me with my, with my fiance. It's helped me with my mindset. It's helped me with coming out of a dark place. It's helped me with propelling myself forward. If you can, because I don't think you can get anywhere by yourself. You can get somewhere, but you can't go as far as you possibly can by yourself. Like there's just no way. You need people around you. Like Alex Hormozi, like everybody has people around them, right? He's built a team. Like there's people around him that help him get to where he is, right? And so if you really want to reach the epitome of success, whatever that is for you, right? Like at the base of it, my idea of success and what I want and what has never changed over the last like 6 years is for me, success is being able to wake up, being excited to wake up, having these goals that I'm reaching every single day, right? Working towards the thing that I want to achieve, which is the impacting the world in a better place, and having a sense of calmness. Like that has been my thing. I just want peace and calmness because if I'm at peace and calmness, then I can help my clients better. I can come and show up better here. I can show up in my business better. That is kind of like the whole encompassing factor of my success. But at the end of it, it's the people around you. If you have the right people around you, man, you are going to succeed in every aspect.
Appreciate that. You've been consistent with the community aspect of everything in your life. So I could definitely see why when it comes to success, again, that's a metric for you to have the right people around you who push you to be the best version of yourself. And also like the personal things that you've touched on, like being calm and just being able to wake up and accomplish your goals. I think that's important. And I look at success pretty much the same way. Success is just, you know, that ability to be at peace with yourself and those around you and being able to take the little things as blessings that cannot be replaced. You know, you're just there. We're here for a short season. Make it the best that you can. You have one movie and you're the producer of this movie. Shoot the hell out of that movie and just make it the best make it the blockbuster that it deserves to be.
Facts.
So when I look at it from that perspective, man, just give the best that you can every day, every single day, and you live with the results. You can't really control a lot in your life, and yeah. So in terms,
You're the main character of your life. Don't let somebody else dictate what you do and how you act.
nah, never that, never that.
Never.
Yeah, and you've accomplished quite a bit. And like a quick question about your personal life. Just how do you balance the, having a fiance and like having that personal relationship and, balancing the aspect of being a business owner and being like a partner, when do you turn off? When do you turn on? How do you simmer down and calm down to kind of enjoy the moments of being a partner and enjoying the moments of being a business owner? Because I feel like sometimes this worlds can cross and it creates chaos.
Yeah. Yeah, so in the beginning, it was definitely hard. Not gonna lie. Like when we first started,
Right.
when I first started my business, I think we were going out for about a year and a half at that point. So, I was definitely not always listening. I was not always like all there when she was talking, right? And I was very fortunate again. Like I said, she was just very understanding and she helped me even push like to where I am today. So, she understood, but there's moments where she's like, we were out on a date. And I was like, hey, just give me 5 minutes. Just got to call somebody. It was like a 45-minute sales call. And I was like, I didn't realize it was going to be a 45-minute sales call. I was like, oh shit, like, this is bad, right? And then, I didn't think it was going to take that long, but it took that long. I came back. I was excited because I closed it and I was like, oh my God, this is great. And I left her there for 45 minutes. And I was like, yeah, this is that moment.
Yeah.
That was like about 2 years into, that was like not 2 years into the business, but like the first year of the business. And I was like, this can never happen again. Because she was like, she wasn't like, like yelling at me. She wasn't like, she never will do that. She's a very good communicator. But I could tell like that was just unacceptable from my part. So that's the day I realized, okay, what is this balance? So, whether it's turning off your phone, like and putting it on airplane mode around her, around her or things like that. Or it's also now after doing this for 4.5 years, it's like, I know like what I can do when I can do it. Right. And I have boundaries, like I have boundaries with, like I'm all there for clients. I'm also all there for her when I'm with her. There's also communication. It's say, hey, babe, like, listen, like, I'm seeing you this amount of times this week, but this week, I have to work as well. And I see you. Can we just go to a coffee shop? Right. I'll work for an hour and a half. She also has a podcast as well. So she does her thing for like an hour and a half.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope.
So, she'll work.
Shoot me the pod. I'm trying to see it.
Yeah. I will.
Support.
Yeah, bro. So she has something. So she's working towards something else. I'm working towards something else. So now we kind of work together as well. But the balance is just, I think the communication of, what are your boundaries as a couple? Like, what can what is she okay with? What am I okay with? Where are we meeting in the middle on this aspect? That was really important, just to have that open conversation. But again, now it's like, after, 8 o'clock, I won't be doing a lot of work anymore. I'm just chilling. Like, we don't live together yet, but we call a lot, we'll talk a lot, and we do that stuff. So a lot of that's dedicated to her now, like after a certain period of time. And then the weekends, right? I'm like, you know what? I'll work up until I see you on Saturday. And then Sundays are all for you. Right? Not every Saturday is here, but every Sunday is our day. Like I'm going to be on my phone as minimal as possible. Like it's never around her and it's all dedicated for her and I, like just to build as like a couple. But yeah, I mean, now it's become balanced and I don't really have like, I guess like an idea of how that all came to be besides communicating boundaries with each other. Hey, I'm okay with you do this, but I'm not okay if you do this. And then we respect it and we move forward from there.
All right. Man, that's dope. That's dope. Communication, man. Communication. It's such a basic skill, but goes a long way in, relationship building and just overall wellness of others around you. So I'm glad that you're in that space and I wish you nothing but the best as you continue to build that relationship, man. Yeah, as we kind of close here, just a quick question. What you got next for you? What you got next? Any big goals, projects that you're excited about?
Yeah, I mean, this year, the goal is to buy our condo together. So that's the big goal we have, more of a personal goal. Business goal, it's more on like impact as opposed to just business. I think this year I'm focused more on impact than I am about revenue or money because that will come with impact, right? That will always come when you can impact better. So this year was honing in on my Instagram. My big goal is 50K followers. Like that's what I want now. And I want it in a way that not just going viral for the sake of going viral, but I want the content to reach people that appreciate how I'm bringing fitness, not just because I'm saying you can lose 30 pounds in 10 days. Right? Don't do that. Anybody listening, don't lose 30 pounds in 10 days. But like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to go against my morality to go viral. That's what the goal is now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I love that because impact will always bring authentic, like, community around you or around the product that you're trying to, or service that you're trying to sell or,
Exactly.
you know, put out there. So I like that. And I'll be there watching, cheering, rooting for you. So we're in this together. 2025 is a huge year, just like any other year, but we always want to get better as each I uploaded a video the other day where each birthday my goal is to get better.
Hey.
Like every like when I told you my age, I'm not gonna mention it out loud, but you said, "Wait, you look young for your age." But it's kind of like that personal pride of like, okay, how can I be more youthful for the next birthday?
Yeah.
And that allows me to like lock in within the year when I'm like feeling lazy or like I feel like I don't want to do this or do that. So yeah, typically at the end of the episode, we ask the one-liner, and based on your journey of life, based on everything, I feel like there's so many questions I didn't ask still.
I think our conversation was very it was just naturally segueing to like different parts, you know, so it was good.
Yeah, I'm like there's so many things because I'm like, tell me about a client that your relationship didn't really work out well, because we also want to know the bad ones.
Yeah, you can, buddy. I got time. If you want to know, just let me know.
Yeah, tell me about that before we go into the last question.
Yeah, for sure. So there has been two very outstanding ones that I remember that were just like,
I love that you have two.
And again, this is
I hope they're listening.
Yeah, it's a two-way street, right? Part of it's on me, part of it's on them, right? I'll never just give them the full blame, but I thought this one was the worst. This one I remember was, she was okay. So she was seeing results. Okay, she was in my program for 3 weeks. She lost 2.5 pounds. She was eating a little bit more food and wasn't losing the weight, right? I was just kind of segueing her into a way to eat healthier and not overburn herself, right? And it was World Cup Sunday, France versus Argentina. I was excited. My team is playing France. That's my squad. I love them. And she messaged me on the Sunday. Again, they can message me. I don't care. They can message me whatever they want, right? She's like, hey, I just got a quick question. Can we hop on a call? At that point, I was like, hey, like, I'm out. And also, like, I don't do calls right now. In my program at that point, I wasn't doing calls, right? Now I can do that. I don't care. I'll do it now. Like, that's cool. And I was like, oh, okay, well, not in this level of the program. Like, if you do this level, yeah, you can have the more time. But, like, you're paying for this one. I'm not going to, out of respect out of the other clients, I can't just do that, right? Anyways, I was like, just answer your question. If we really need to get on a call, I'll get on a call with you. But just let me know what your question is. She's like, okay, this is my question. I was like, cool. I answered it for her. She was, and then she started getting, like, very petty. And I was like, oh, why is she messaging like this? Is very weird. She's like, okay, but I need a call. I was like, yeah, but I just answered your question, and out of respect, out of the other levels of the program, like, it's not really something we're doing right now, right? Like, I can't, right? And she's like, all I wanted to call, and now you're giving up on me. I was like, I'm not. And I was like, what's wrong here? Like, what's the problem? Like, why are you so angry right now? Like, let me know. And if we need to get on a call, yell at me. That's fine. That's fine. If you need to get it out, get it off your chest. It's okay. She's like, well, I don't have this. I don't have that. I don't have this cook pot. I don't have this air fryer. I don't have this. I was like, but you told me you did when we first joined the program, so I knew how to make your meals. So why do you not have that all of a sudden? Like, I'm very confused, right? And she's like, okay, well, it's not about that. I was like, but you just said it's about that, right? Again, like, she was just very, very angry that she doesn't get the same level of the program as my other clients would, who are, paying more at that point. Right now, I only have one level. So you get there and you're good, right? And
you pivoted.
Yeah. I was like, we're not doing this anymore. So I was like, okay, whatever. Like, it's okay. So anyways, like, we were talking, and then she's telling me, yeah, you know what? Like, this program isn't working. And I was like, but didn't you just lose like 2.5 pounds in 3 weeks? Like, you're eating a little bit more. Your energy is better. Like, I don't understand the problem. Like, I really don't get it. Right. She's like, right. Well, you're not helping me. You're not answering the questions that I want them to be answered. I'm like, well, I want to be answered. You just don't want to hear the truth about how to get this done. Right. And that was her thinking bomb. She sent me voice notes. She's like, it's not that I don't know what to do. I'm a fitness. She was a Zumba instructor. She's like, I'm an instructor. I know how to do my shit. Like, why are you talking like this to me? I was like, well, you hired me to help you. Like, I'm just being honest with you, this and that. So it was a really like awkward moment. And I knew I didn't want her as a client in the beginning. And I only took her because one of my other clients referred her to the program, and I wasn't going to say no. Right. I knew this is the moment I knew I shouldn't have put her in the program. She said to me, she's like, I was like, oh, what's your dietary restrictions? She's like, oh, like I'm vegan. I was like, okay, cool, no problem. I can definitely help you with that. She's like, but I eat fish. I was like, so you're not vegan? Oh, you're pescatarian, right? I mean,
pescatarian. Yeah.
Right? She's like, no, but like I don't eat it. Like, and I was like, I don't eat like anything except fish. I'm like, yeah, so you're not vegan. Like you're pescatarian. That's cool. Like I can make you food like that. She's like, no, like, you don't get it. Like, I don't eat anything. I don't eat meat. I don't eat anything that lives, this and that. I'm like, okay, but if I put salmon in your program, are you going to eat it? She's like, yeah. I was like, okay, so like, you're not vegan. So like, in that moment, I knew like, like I wasn't like, I was like, dude, like, this
Bruh.
is going to be
Bruh.
so then at that moment,
Yeah.
it was a bad relationship. Like after that third week blow up she had, it was just kind of like, and maybe, you know what, maybe I should have just got on the call at that point. And you learn, you learn from the lessons. Next time somebody's
Right.
panicking and freaking out, or again, I don't know why she was losing weight, she was getting results. It was a very random aspect. Anyway, so I was like, after that moment, I was like, okay, we're gonna do one level of the program, and I'm gonna allow calls. Like, I can't deal with this anymore. I don't want any bad blood between people. I don't want people to feel like I hate them or this and that. I
Yeah.
could have maybe I could have just picked up that call, right? But in the moment, I was young, and I was like, I was also feeling myself at some point. I was like, yeah, like I don't need to do this. Like, you're not in that other program. Maybe I shouldn't. So you have to look at it in two aspects, right? Maybe you got to take the ego out. Maybe you got to like just do it for the sake of doing it in that moment. And maybe you could have helped her more, right? So I don't want to say she was rude or anything like that. It's like I just looked at it as, okay, what could I have done to help more? Like, what could I have done to deal
Right.
with that situation? Because at that point, I can't control what she feels. I can't control what she does. Only I can control what happens next, right? So
Yeah.
that's how I looked at that. And now, yeah, like that's why I do those 2 checkpoints. That's why I added more of the check-ins. I'm like, you know what? I never want to deal with that again. I'm going to just make my program better. That's it, right? So
Yeah.
I like what I
I
took.
like that.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing that, because two things can be at play. One thing is when someone comes to you with like they're antsy, or they're kind of acting in a way that doesn't align with how you're feeling in the moment, you have two options. You either react in a positive way or a negative way.
Yeah.
Whatever they do is on them, but your reaction is on you.
Yeah.
That always one of my friends taught me that, like, how you react to a situation is completely your ownership. You can't blame that on the person who triggered you or whatever the case may be. You have to be so much aware that your reaction is gonna have a consequence, essentially.
Exactly, dude.
And
That's true.
and also like, yeah.
Oh no,
And also like, yeah, go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying like I said, like, I was confused at that point, right? I was like, you're getting results, things, whatever, right? Like, why are you so angry? But like, again, you don't have to, that's the whole thing is I learned, you don't blame others. You just look at what can you control next time. That's it, right? What is the controllable factor here? Control it and don't let it happen again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, bro. Absolutely. Goes a long way in relationships too. Trust me.
Yeah.
The last one, so we get to the one word. When you think about your journey, your life, as we kind of wrap up this episode, it all boils down to what for Raj?
One word?
One,
Patience.
patience. Why patience?
Patience because it takes a long time to build something worthwhile. So I'm still working at it, so we're still patient, but it just takes a while, and the faster you go, the harder it falls. So go at a pace that you can control, go at a pace that you can actually handle, and then you'll be able to handle more and more and more through that patience and through that leverage of your ability to handle more.
I love that, because that's crazy. I was talking to my mom last night, and we pretty much had the same outlook on patience, on building stuff. Anything worthwhile takes time.
Mm-hmm.
And her outlook was, the faster you build something through shortcuts, the easier it is to fall. But when you do it the long way, the worthwhile way, in steps, taking the right way, the right steps, even when the thing falls, it doesn't fall as quick, because the foundation was so solid that when the thing or the product or the service or whatever it is that you're offering starts falling, it does not fall as fast as somebody who bought something and then it falls. Let's take, for instance, whatever is happening right now with rap.
Yeah.
Like, people are saying some artists are using bots. So if you take the bots out of one song and the same artist uploads a different song, but it doesn't do as well because the motion of that song has kind of passed away with the wind, because we live in a society that is forward thinking. The next song the same artist doesn't have the same traction because they're not using artificial boosting. So it's like, it becomes easier to kind of like fall off because you're not at like boosting your shit to like look like something that it's not. So just something worthwhile takes time. I think it's that's so real. And when you're building something, you gotta have that patience. whether you're building a business, your body, your mind, you gotta have patience with yourself because it doesn't align. 10 years of work, 8 years of work is gonna look like overnight success when when you're blowing up in the level that
I
you
know,
want to
I
blow up.
know,
So
dude. Yeah.
when you're leveled up, people are not gonna see the 8, 9, 10 years of work. So
Yeah.
I like that. I like that. Thanks, Coach Raj, man, and we appreciate you. Where can people find you on the socials? I hope you had a good convo. Where can people find you on socials, though?
Yeah, dude. No, this is awesome, bro. I'd freaking love to be back on. I feel like we have a lot to talk about. I feel like it's pretty cool. So,
Bro,
yeah, dude.
I appreciate that.
Whenever you want me back, if if you ever want me to, I will. But yeah, in terms of finding me, coachraj.official. That's how you guys find me on anywhere. Instagram, TikTok. I'm joining LinkedIn this week. I'm gonna start doing some media on there because my whole program is helping people that work a 9 to 5. So I should probably be where people do work a 9 to 5. So be on LinkedIn
Yes, sir.
soon. And yeah, other than that, that's where you find me, guys. That's where you guys find me.
All right. We appreciate you for the episode, man. Definitely we'll have you back because I feel like, damn, I'm just getting started.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I know, yeah, I know.
But I didn't even notice it's been like an hour 15. This is one of my longest eps, bro. That's crazy. Yeah. Thank you so much for coming through. We appreciate you. Thanks for sharing the gems. Thanks for being vulnerable, authentic, and
Yeah, man.
honest. Thanks for sharing your stories. And yeah, we'll have you back for sure. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, dude.
Talk to you soon, bro.
All right, man. Thank you.